I'm Matt Deal. Happy Friday the 13th.
I'm Kristin Legato. Welcome to Arundel County Week in Review. In this episode, we'll chat with our friends at Animal Control and we'll make a new discovery over at Discovery Village. But first, making headlines this week. Employees at Northrop Grumman had a lot to celebrate this week. As elected officials look on, they cheered on a $80 billion contract award to build a long-range strike bomber for the Air Force. You heard me right, Matt. That's an $80 billion with a B contract. And of course, that means lots of jobs right here at home. Northrop Grumman President Gloria Flack said the project is a boon for our region.
On October the 27th, Northrop Grumman made history. It's epic. The U.S. Air Force selected the right company to prime the long-range strike bomber, LRSB. It is our program. This award is great news for our company, and it is great news for our nation. And I am incredibly proud of the cross-company team that made that happen.
The Air Force is replacing its B-1 and B-52 bombers, which date back to the Cold War, according to the New York Times. It will also have stealth capabilities like the B-2, which Northrop also built. Sounds like a lot of our neighbors are going to be really, really busy, Matt. There is no name for the new plane yet. What do you think about B-3?
With a capital B.
B, B-Sting.
Sounds like a vitamin.
B-Buzz.
Yeah. Good work. Well, Kristin, we got some good news from Governor Larry Hogan.
Oh, good.
He made an appearance at Ginger Cove in Riva last week and reported that he's feeling good despite some very tough chemotherapy treatments.
Yay.
After he congratulated S. Miller on her 109th birthday.
Oh, geez.
The governor said he hopes to live another 40 years too.
I've finished a very intensive 5-month chemotherapy program, and I'm waiting to get some final test scores to tell me that I'm really passed the test and that I'm on the road to recovery.
That's really good to hear that the governor has finished several rounds of chemotherapy, and we hope he passes his test with flying colors. By the way, Kristin, 109 years old.
109?
That's amazing. And what's her secret? Miss Miller said, keep breathing.
That's a good secret.
Pretty good advice.
Yeah.
What would you want for your 109th birthday, Kristin? Other than, of course, the tiara the young lady got, of course.
Oh, well, tiara would be just great. Gosh, 109. I feel like I'd love a good serenade from a young crooner.
Well, put that on your
on my list.
And,
thank you.
Mail it to the North Pole, and good luck to you.
Thank you so much. Well, Matt, have you ever had a motorcycle?
No, I have not.
You haven't? Okay. Have you ever worn a Santa suit?
I have done that.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, tomorrow you have a chance to do both to benefit local children. Pasadena will be decked out in Santas on bikes starting at 11 a.m. for the 4th annual Toys for Dena bike run. Admission is $20 per bike and $10 per passenger, plus a new toy, clothing, or non-perishable food items. Stops will include the Office Bar and Grill, Jimmy T's, the Cheshire Crab, and Vandy's Place. There will also be live music, raffles, and door prizes. And this sounds like a good excuse to get out on the bike one more time before it gets cold and slippery.
Or the first time for me. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll talk to Animal Control Administrator Robin Catlett. Take a look at our community calendar in the meantime for events, happenings around town. We'll be right back.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first, don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language, or talk with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
Don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Welcome back. Joining us on the program this week, we are delighted to have Robin Catlett, who's an administrator with County's Animal Control, and a very special friend we'll get to in just a minute. Robin, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Can you explain your role as an administrator with the Animal Control? What do you do and how's your day?
Sure. So I started with Animal Control in 2011. I oversee the shelter as a whole, so the adoptions, redemptions, and also the enforcement end of things. So dealing with the animal control officers that you see on the road, patrolling the areas, and addressing concerns from citizens.
So you have a lot in your house right now, but you've brought this particular friend with you, and this is Butler, everyone. Butler is such an adorable cat. And tell us about Butler.
So Butler joined us in September. He was surrendered by his owner, who was moving into a senior facility and was unable to take Butler with him. He had adopted Butler from us a little bit over a year ago. And Butler is a sweetheart. As you can see, he's just happy to sit here contently in my lap. He got a nail trim before he came, a little manicure, pedicure, which he
looking good, Butler.
Tolerated very well. He's a curious cat. He likes to explore his surroundings,
yes.
And he's very affectionate.
Very excited to be here on Week in Review, as we can tell. And Butler is available for adoption.
He is, and actually someone that came to visit us liked him a ton, but unfortunately couldn't take another pet home at the moment, so they sponsored him. So that means Butler is free to an approved adopter right now. We're actually running a cat adoption special currently because we are so full of cats, as unfortunately the shelter often is. So right now, other cats, Butler is free, but other cats are available for just $4 to approved adopters.
$4. That's less than one of those venti latte.
Three. You're allowed 9 in Anne Arundel County without any special permits. So if you don't have, 7 right now, you can add a couple more if you don't have.
There you go.
Robin, one question I have. We've had some really nice weather lately, but the weather is turning and the winter months are coming. Do you have any tips for pet owners to keep their pets, cats, dogs, whatever, warm, comfortable, and especially healthy during the winter months?
Absolutely. So we always encourage pet owners to be with their pets when they're outside so they can monitor their pets. Just like us, they get cold even though they have a fur coat. They're not used to being out in the temperature extremes all the time. So we want to encourage people to be with their pets when outside, monitor their pets, make sure that they're staying healthy, happy, and they have access to water at all times because water is important for regulating your temperature, even in the winter. We also like to put out that if for any reason you do let your pet outside unattended, that you make sure that it has appropriate shelter to protect it from the extreme weather conditions, whether that be temperature, ice, snow, and make sure that there's appropriate bedding in there and it's of a good size so the pet can warm the area themselves with their body size. If it's too big, the pet can't actually warm the space. So you want it to be the appropriate size space for your pet to get in there, turn around and lie down and not have a ton of extra space.
You mentioned snow and ice, and I know that a lot of people use different products, chemical products to remove snow and ice or help de-ice or melt the snow and ice from sidewalks. So when you're walking your dog or one of your pets is out and maybe not monitored, I think it's a good idea. I know friends of mine are religious about making sure they wash the paws when they come inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Even that road salt that's used can be really irritating to their paws, so it's important to clean their paws off when you come back from a walk, whether it's on the sidewalk or on the street. If you can keep your pets walking in grassy areas in the winter, they're less likely to encounter some of those chemicals, so it's a little bit better for their pads. But definitely cleaning off their paws when they come back inside from outside is helpful. And any extra snow or ice that they may have gotten on them, if they go outside when it's actively snowing, they're going to get dampened by that. So giving them a nice towel dry off to help keep them dry and warm is effective.
And as a dog owner, I constantly watch my dog. You wouldn't think it, but they try and be very clean. They lick themselves clean like their paws.
Yep.
So it's food for thought, certainly. Looks like Butler likes to stay clean and healthy and warm and comfortable.
Yeah, and we're hoping that we found him a forever home before that cold weather comes, and we would encourage that his new owner keep him inside. That way he's not exposed to the dangers out there on his own.
Speaking also of food for thought, we were talking about a new law that's now gone into effect regarding food and water for pets. Can you talk about that law?
Sure. So the law was just before the county council and will actually go into effect on November 27th. It requires that pets have access to water at all times now, which, as we discussed a little bit earlier, that's important in the winter, but it's also important in the summer and all year round because water makes up such a great percentage of our bodies. It's important for the regulation of temperature and maintaining a healthy person or animal. So having that water access at all times is important. Additionally, it made slight modifications to what's required in terms of the food because the law was a little ambiguous before. So now you have to feed your animal an appropriate amount of food to maintain a healthy weight of the animal so that your animal is getting enough calories to keep the appropriate amount of weight on so that we're not seeing emaciated animals and things like that.
Where would someone find information about the appropriate weight for a particular animal?
So your veterinarian can help you get your pet to the ideal weight. There are also, if you use the internet, you can search for different guidelines for what's considered a healthy weight for your animal.
Very good.
And different species, different sizes, they're all going to have their own weight. So you don't want to put something out there that say, you know, all cats should be 10 pounds because there's petite cats and there's larger cats. So there's a big range. It needs to be appropriate for that animal. And just like dogs, you have dogs that might be as small as 2 pounds and as big as 200. So you really want to make sure that you're maintaining it for that particular animal and what's healthy for that animal.
We said it's going to be the season for colder weather, but it's also the season for giving.
Absolutely.
So if someone out there wants to help by donating some goods, by trying to get involved with the program, what does the animal shelter have available that folks can help out with?
So we have a couple of things going on. Right now we have the Give a Pet a Happy Holiday program. Animal Control works with the Housing Commission to get a list of people that are living in Anne Arundel County that are in need of some extra assistance. And these individuals are pet owners as well. So we accept donations from the community to give out to those individuals that are needy and have pets for the benefit of those pets during the holiday season. Many of us, our pets are like family and we like to spoil them, but if ends are a little bit tight and you're having a little bit of financial trouble, getting a little help giving your pet something extra special around the holidays, or even just providing those basic needs like good quality food and things like that is helpful. So we are accepting donations right now at the shelter for the Give a Pet a Happy Holiday program, so we can help those members, including our pet friends in the community, have a happy holiday season. And we do always accept donations of in-kind items at the shelter, including food, bedding, and other things. We do have a full listing on our website at www.aacounty.org/animal control. You can check it out under the Accepted Donations tab.
We're getting frisky over here.
Starting to want to explore.
Butler,
Yes.
you got to look at the camera. You're free. You're free.
We're trying to make you a star here, Butler. So I gotta ask, Robin, are you more of a cat person or a dog person?
I love both.
You love both equally. What a nice answer to give.
I love both, and other animals too.
So this
You'd
must
be
be a labor of
surprised.
love.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised what type of animals we get in at the shelter. Actually, we had a
was gonna
hedgehog
ask.
adopted today.
Yeah, a hedgehog.
We had a ferret leave to a rescue today. We have an iguana right now. We had a bunch of rabbits recently, and I think we even have a rooster hanging out at the shelter right now.
Would you say the strangest thing that you've crossed paths with would be?
I would probably say alligators.
Wow. Yeah. Don't see many of those in Anne Arundel County.
I heard on the news today that in Delaware there's an emu on the loose.
An emu. Maybe we'll see an emu.
You would be surprised. We've gotten lots of calls for cows in the road,
Right.
horses in the road, goats in the
That
road.
I can see around here. An alligator.
Yeah.
A little different.
Yeah, alligators are less common. They are illegal in Maryland, so it's reasonable that they would be less common.
Right, right. Well, just to wrap up, if you're out there and you want to donate, also, if folks are interested in adopting, what would be the process for that?
So the process for adopting is Pretty simple, pretty easy. Come and visit the shelter during our open hours. We have hours Tuesday through Saturday every week. Different hours, different days. The most common days we have visitors tend to be Wednesdays when we have hours from 10 to 6 and Saturdays when we're open from 10 to 2:30. You stop in, you get pre-screened to adopt. If you own your home, you show proof of ownership. However, we can look that up online. If you rent, we need to talk to your landlord, make sure they're okay with you bringing a new family member home. We need to verify you are who you say you are. And that your current pets, if you have any already, are in compliance with all state and county laws. And you have no history of animal cruelty. Of course, we don't want to send anybody home where there might be a concern for the pet's safety. If you meet those qualifications, you get to go back and interact with the pet that you're interested in. Assuming you think it's a good match or a match made in heaven, you come up front and complete the adoption process. Again, right now, cats are available for just $4, but our adoption fees generally at the normal prices range between $26 and $56.
$4, that's such a good deal.
And for that price, you get an animal that's spayed or neutered, up to date on rabies vaccination, and has also received other general shots like distemper and bordetella for dogs.
And you're getting a great friend.
Absolutely.
Well, if you're out there and you're feeling generous, especially this holiday season, please try and help out with the animal shelter, either by adopting, yes, or by donating, which is the Give the Pet a Happy Holiday program. A great program indeed. Robin, thank you so much for joining us this week. We hope you'll come back.
Having me.
You can come back again whenever. Just don't bring the alligator. I think I'm pretty good on that. We'll be right back with more Week in Review right after this.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Welcome back. Well, it's getting chillier outside, but we have something to look forward to after the big thaw. Shady Side is about to get a new boat ramp so more people can enjoy Parish Creek and the Chesapeake Bay. Michelle Corkadel is at Discovery Village with more. Michelle?
Thanks, Kristin and Matt. I'm here in Shady Side, Maryland today, where every day is a new discovery here at Discovery Village. Adam, hi, welcome.
Thanks, Michelle. Great to have you here in South County and Discovery Village. We really are very happy you're here.
You know, fall is one of my favorite times of year, and it is here at Discovery Village too. Can you tell us some of the happenings going on?
Well, so much has happened this year. Of course, we have the Riverkeeper here as well as the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, Michelle, and they do some really great work with oysters, which goes on year-round. The tanks are still bubbling in the background. You can probably hear that, and they're transferring spat onto shell, which will be taken out into the bay, and they will create an oyster reef, a new oyster reef, or replenish an oyster reef. Very excited about that. That's just one of the many things here. But we also have canoeing and kayaking you can do on the shallow side of Discovery Bay, which is Discovery Village rather. It should be called Discovery Bay, I think, but it's really, because there's a lot to discover down here. There's a lot of ecosystem. And you know, having lived down in South County for 30 years, it's really exciting for me to see young people come to Discovery Village and see the bay for the first time and say, wow, it really is that cool. It really is. When you see water for the first time, it's like magic to a young child. You know, having grown up in England, and when I first saw the ocean there, I thought it was like incredible. I just couldn't believe that there's that much water on the planet, let alone anywhere else.
We definitely have a gem down here. Now there's going to be some exciting things happening coming up in the years ahead, and one of them is to the right of me, where we're going to be putting in, just on the other side of the Robert E. Lee here, a brand new boat ramp so that in addition to kayaking and canoeing, you can actually have a public launch ramp, and the county is excited to have it here.
Very excited about the spearheading that County Executive Steve Shue did to put a boat ramp down in South County. We desperately need it, and I think this will be a phenomenal asset to the community, not just around us, but for easy. The closest place we have, I think, is Sandy Point, which is like another planet away from here. So this is really going to help a lot of people. I know a lot of my neighbors have boats in their backyard on trailers. They would love to be able to come here. The other great thing about Discovery Village, which we haven't spoken about, Michelle, is the fact that we have parking for 200 cars, which is the largest parking lot in Shady Side. We're very proud of that. So you can come down, park your car. If you have a car top, kayak, you can launch a kayak, and also if you have, what are those things called, windsurfers and paddle boards and things like that, they're all possible to do here. It's all possible.
So it sounds like our expansion is well underway, and tell me, we have this building here, and this is where the kids do some of their lab work and learn about some of the oyster restoration that we're doing, and they're able to watch Offspring, you were telling me.
Yeah,
tell us some more about what kids can do when they come down here to Discovery Village.
Well, one thing you can do here, which is really great, we've done programs with the county schools. We did a School of Fish, which is an art project we did through all the schools and all the high schools in Maryland. Very beautiful artwork we created, or the kids created. It's amazing when you show kids something, and their imagination, what they can do with it. We've had amazing results with that. We've had children come down for school that did tours with the Chesapeake Bay Foundation that's been here for 12, 13 years. The Riverkeeper does water testing to make sure the water is good quality, and that's the key thing, is really getting the bay back to good quality water where we can all swim, fish, and eat the fish that come out of the bay. That's really important. So we love what we're helping to contribute to the community and to the bay as well. It's been so good to us.
I agree. And as a matter of fact, it's interesting because as we continue to add more water access, we also continue to get stakeholders that have a vested interest now in the bay. And I think this is going to be the key to a successful balance between making sure we restore the bay as well as enhance the assets that the county has overall. And I think I'm looking forward to the project. I am one of those people who have a boat in my backyard on a trailer, and I'm looking forward to it. Is a lot easier to come down here a couple minutes versus traversing Route 50.
Exactly.
And of course, we're going to be doing this all across the county, but I think this one is more important. More so because this is where our watermen are, correct?
Absolutely. This is the Chesapeake Bay, and the Parish Creek is the closest working waterman's creek to the whole bay itself. The other thing that's interesting, Michelle, is the fact that we are closer to the Thomas Point Lighthouse than they are from Annapolis. That's a little known fact, but we're actually closer. So you can get there, tour the lighthouse, come back and so forth to Discovery Village. But it's just amazing when people come down here. When we first started here, we wanted to find a home for watermen. That was a very important thing. And we have a lot of watermen still working out here, catching crabs, catching fish, and harvesting oysters, which are becoming really, I love oysters. How about you?
Oh my goodness. Some of my favorite things, an oyster festival down here in Shadyside, not here physically, each and every year is one of the favorite things to do. Was it in September?
Yeah.
Right in September. So mark your calendar now for next year because that is a lot of fun.
Great fun. That's the other thing, Michelle, about getting the bay healthy as we can get it, because oysters really thrive in good water, good oxygenated water, and that's what we really want to help improve. It sounds kind of like Don Quixote type thing. We want to really, it's a big bay, but it's possible to do it if we all pull together, and everybody has a vested interest in the bay. They see it, and they see it's a jewel of America, not just Maryland, but a jewel of America, and I think that we have to treasure it and polish it. That's the key thing.
Well, thank you so very much. And now back to you.
Thanks, Michelle. Did you see that view, Matt?
That was beautiful.
Yeah, I wish we were sailing there now in the sunshine with some pina coladas. Do you like pina coladas?
I'll drink them every now and then.
Do you like pina coladas? Come on.
No, not gonna happen.
Ocean spray.
You already asked me if I was much of a singer. Clearly told you no, yet tried to get me to do it on camera.
Sorry. Well, it'll be a while before that boat ramp and those pina coladas anyway, Matt. It's going to be 5 more months of winter. And, I was thinking it's not every day that we have a DPW guru on the show. So
I thought, one today.
Yeah, here we do have one. One of the biggest things we always have to tackle every year in DPW is, of course, snow.
Yes.
So any kind of tips you want to give out to residents out there watching before all that white stuff's all over the ground?
Well, I guess the biggest thing is you can always help us help you.
Yeah.
Especially on roads where there's on-street parking. If you know the snow's coming, and you have the ability to move your car to maybe a driveway or maybe to a different location so that our plows can safely get in and out without safely get in and out, period.
Right.
But also without damaging their vehicle and more importantly, really, the property of an owner of a house.
Sure.
So that'll really help. The other thing to keep in mind is we get a lot of complaints sometimes. Oh, you haven't touched Route 3 or B&A Boulevard. And one thing to keep in mind is, any street associated with a number is not the responsibility of Anne Arundel County.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So keep that in mind. The state does a great job of clearing roads during the snow to make it safe for motorists, and we do the same thing on county-maintained roads.
County-maintained roads. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but not only do people get upset if they don't see plows out there and they're not aware of whose responsibility it is, but you also have to have certain conditions set for being able to go out and plow roads. If it's still falling or if there's any kind of slush involved, isn't it true that there has to be certain conditions in order to plow?
Well, we do have standards and policies in place for when we begin to plow, but basically, if snow's accumulating to a point where it needs to be plowed, well, we'll get out and plow, maybe more than once if need be. There are a published level of service for types of storm for the amount of snow that falls and accumulates on the ground. That can be found on the DPW website, aacounty.org/DPW. There's a snow and ice removal
I've seen that chart before.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a wealth of information on those pages within the DPW webpage. So go there, find out more. You can always find out the level of service for your particular street, because there's different types of streets in Anne Arundel County: arterial, residential, collector, all those different. You can learn a lot.
You can learn a lot. I've got to
webpage.
say, I remember glancing back over last winter with different snowfalls, and I thought that you guys got a lot of compliments, particularly on your Facebook page, for how you were always out and about in the plows and how you kept things so clear. So kudos to you guys. You always have a good plan in place.
Well, I know the guys will appreciate that.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for a long time, and really, they really live it. They're passionate about it and want to keep things safe for our motorists. One thing also to keep in mind when I say help us, help you, or help us, help you, is when it's snowing and you don't have to be on the road. Don't be on the roads,
Don't
because
be on the roads.
if there's a log jam of cars on the road,
Right.
We can't plow.
You don't need that taco. Just save it. Save it till it's
Exactly.
safe.
So it's
Very
we're
good.
gearing up. We're going to be prepared as
Yeah.
always. And when it snows, no matter what, it's our responsibility to make the road safe.
Any whispers you've heard about what kind of winter we're supposed to be getting this year?
I don't want to scare anybody, so no, I haven't heard any whispers at all.
We haven't heard anything. No.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode and archived episodes online anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or Google Plus by searching Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around the county. We'll see you next time.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.